Hello everybody. I would like to read you my new book, the Inside Big Me Lives a Little Me. The reason I wrote this book was because I wanted to help other therapists and parents looking after children who've experienced early life trauma and neglect to understand the fragmentation of such children. And in particular, the fact that our children may be chronologically 12 and emotionally, developmentally, perhaps half that age, and for most of our children, even younger. And then experientially, for many of our children who've been through a lot of trauma, they can appear a lot older than the chronological age. And during my work as a therapist, which I've been doing for 22 years now, I've worked with so many children who are either adopted, fostered, live under a kinship care arrangement or under special guardianship order, and even some birth children who have experienced significant early life trauma. And every one of those children inside them carries a younger part of self that I refer to as little me. And the work has been beautiful in helping children to understand they have a little part of self and to find ways to allow themselves to reconnect with that part, particularly when they're filled with shame and the egocentric state of self-blame and rejection. They have that negative view of self and often blame themselves for what has happened to them and indeed what hasn't happened for them. So I want this book to be used with the children by parents and therapists and social workers. It can also be used as part of the life story work training that we do, because it just helps the child to engage with that part of self that didn't get what they needed. And also, when children particularly are placed into foster care and adoption, you are taught to parent the child at the chronological age. And then sadly, things start to go wrong quite quickly, because what needs to happen is we need to care for that child, but we need to care for the child who never lived with us even more so. So once we do that, once we really start to engage with the younger part of the child, we see significant change, which is why we have great stability in our fostering agencies, True Fostering England and Safer Fostering Wales, because we help our foster parents, we prepare them for when they transfer to us or when a child is placed with them, to really think about not just what happened to this child, but what didn't happen for them and how traumatized is little me. So here's the book. Inside Big Me Lives a Little Me. So I just want to say that there's some guidance here for parents and caregivers. Go slowly when you're reading the book. Validate both parts of the child. Allow the child to move away and come back and reassure safety. Invite expression and model compassion. And you might need to visit this book time and time again. And in between doing that, it's important to remind the child, remember, this is little you that might be struggling today. So inside Big Me lives a little me. And I think the illustrations are wonderful, and they were done by a fantastic illustrator and foster parent called Dave Slaney. Thank you, Dave. So inside Big Me lives a little me. Big Me has lived with my new family for quite a long time. Little me feels like they still live with my first family. It's difficult to read it and hold the book up, but I'm sure you can get the gist. Big me knows that I am safe where I live. Little me doesn't believe it. Big me knows I will be taken care of properly, in particular around food, having basic needs met. Little me is worried that that won't happen. Big me knows I will get everything I need. Little me is scared that I won't. And we have here a little bit of stealing going on, which we know is a very common behaviour in children who've experienced early life trauma. Big me feels happy at times and looks forward to things, and little me doesn't. Big me knows that people can be trusted, at least some people. Little me struggles to trust anyone, but my new family are going to help big me to help little me. To begin to believe that everything will be okay, but it might take some time for little me to believe it. And what we have here is little me, very visible, starting to trust the adult, and big me reassuring little me that it's safe to do so. And then, of course, I've written a bit about my history of spending much of my time in the care system, having lots of moves around the care system, and how I've had to look after my own little me, and I'm still doing so now. Thanks, everybody.